This is African Diaspora Channel's production in collaboration with Cross River Broadcasting Corporation. Welcome to Destination Cross River Policies and Business Opportunities podcast. My name is Gloria Edet. Creativity has become one of the most powerful drivers in modern economies, from film and theater to digital storytelling to content creation. Creative talent is not only shaping culture, but creating jobs and creating more opportunities for people to become a better version of themselves through self-discovery. And we have a lot of young people who are passionate about developing their talent. So today we are looking at how creative talent can drive the economy here in Cross River State by creating more opportunities for the younger generation to be able to make something out of their lives. And today I have with me one who has been able to walk through this path. I'm tempted to say from Genesis, but he has not gotten to Revelation yet. He is a creative director. He is a script writer. He is a filmmaker, and he's also the founder of the Lighthouse Hub Productions. Today, I am welcoming on set Mr. Patrick Dominic.
Thank you, Gloria, for having me.
We're so delighted to have you here today.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual.
Oh, yeah. And congratulations on your upcoming. Don't worry. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. But indeed, we celebrate your talent here in Cross River State.
Thank you.
For some of us who have followed your works for a while, we see that indeed you're one of the believers in the state, and you have been able to help develop a lot of talents, not just yours, because it's not just enough for you to say, I have talent and have discovered myself, but are you also creating a platform for other people who are in the same industry, who are in the same sphere of influence, to be able to do the same? And we see you do that again and again. And we want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
For adding value to the lives of young people here in Cross River State and even beyond. And so today, we are talking to you about how creative talent can drive business growth here in Cross River State. It's something that you're already doing, so it's not like you're going to be speaking out of content drawn from AI. No, you're going to be speaking experientially. You're going to be sharing the wealth of experience you've been able to garner from the many years you have invested so far. So let's start with your journey as a creative director, a script writer, a filmmaker. What inspired you to begin to use storytelling as a tool for expressing your talent?
Oh, okay. So I grew up in the barracks, basically. And the barracks is like, how will I put it? If you've ever watched Fuji House of Commotion back in the day, you could easily describe the barracks as that kind of place, basically. And when you live in the barracks, it's like a fight for survival, because people yab your parent and every other thing. So if you don't have a strong mouth, you could easily be thrown off guard, basically. So I think that's where my experience came from, from the certain things that I got to see and things I got to learn, basically. So I think that kind of shaped me to the kind of stories that I also tell. And then my first stage director, God rest his soul, Edward Ayendi, the man inspired a lot in me and shaped me to become an actor before I even ventured into creative directing. I think one thing that I always do not fail to say is that poverty was one of the main sources that made me discover my creativity. Because after my youth service in 2013, I looked for jobs and there was none. And then somebody saw the stories that I used to write. I was like, why can't you post this stuff on Facebook and let people get to see them?
Yes.
And I think that's where it started. From posting my stories on Facebook, getting people say, oh, they like the stories. I want to buy this. I want to turn it into a film and all that. So basically, that's where everything started.
Interesting. And you have been able to use this to generate business, and it is now bringing income. The way you're smiling.
Yes, I would say that. I'll say that. I don't do any other businesses. I don't do any other businesses. The only thing I do is writing, creative directing. That's basically all I have done my life. And yes, I've been able to use that to generate income, not just for myself, but for others too. Nobody ever believes that stage acting can be relevant. People who do stage plays will be relevant. Back then, if you tell your parents that you want to go into acting, you automatically think that you're wayward, because that was the notion they had for the industry. So yes, income, yes, it's been the outcome of hard work and consistency. We're not there yet, basically, but I think we're okay.
But you're getting close.
We're okay.
You don't want to stretch that part. Okay, we're talking about creative talent, and we see that you are an embodiment of creativity.
You flatter me.
And talent. Oh my goodness. So tell us, do you believe or do you think that creative talent can drive business growth, can even be a part of the sector? Even we have established that it is already, but we want to hear your perspective on that.
Okay, I was a coach for DTH, the Niger Spirit Talent Hunt, and I saw creativity like I've never seen before, and I think that it's not something that we have choose to harness or tap into, because right now the world itself is being run by creativity. And yes, and I don't think that as a state we have tapped into that resources, which is called creativity. And also, let's not mistake people who do anyhow content for creativity. By that, I mean that people who just come online to just talk and talk and talk. That's not what I'm talking about. People who think and people who bring that into screen, maybe in form of skits or stories, basically. But I don't think that we have tapped into that yet. I don't think that we've opened our arms to embrace it yet. I keep saying these things and I get slack for it. We don't have musicians from Cross River who are doing well in the global market. Okay, let's not even go global. Let's say in the national market in Nigeria as a whole. We have the likes of Trombone, who is selling the culture and is doing tremendously well. We have the likes of Chalex, the boss, who is doing well. But we have others who are struggling because their music do not leave the shores of Cross River. And that's because there is no marketable route that has been created for them. That platform has not been created for them to excel beyond the shores of Cross River. I know Cross Riverians who sing really well, but you will not hear their songs outside of Cross River. So I don't think that it's a platform that we have really keyed into. I look at how many Cross Riverians run a YouTube platform for films. It's barely non-existent, and we have good actors in this state. One of them I admire so much is Lokume. I've never seen an actor from Cross River State that is as good as that guy. And I believe that we should be farther than where we are right now. But that's not happening because I don't think we've really looked into it as something that could generate income and keep youths really busy.
So you've identified that loophole there. Beyond the platform for talent to thrive nationally and globally, what else do you think are the challenges? What other challenges, problems have you observed?
Basically, I think also the youths themselves or people who have this talent, they are not being patient with themselves. Everybody just wants to make fast money. And for somebody like me who has been doing this thing since 2013, not so many persons have patience with okay, let me wait for my talent to generate income. And we live in a fast-paced society, basically. People are influenced by what they see online, and so that's also a major challenge when people do not take time to harness their craft or learn well. And most persons don't even want to stay on that tutorship. That's why I would say that I like the Igbo system of training people, where you get to serve somebody for 9 years and then start your own business. If you serve somebody consistently for 9 years, there's no way you're going to fail, basically. But people are not so eager to learn anymore. Somebody stays with you for, I've had them, a lot of them in my company, 6 months, 1 year, and they think they know more than you, and then they start raising shoulders, and you just have to let them go. So I think that that's a major problem. We're not ready to harness and learn, so that's why we have people who just crash and burn. They go there, stay relevant for a year or so. Most times, if they are lucky, a year, and it crashes and burns. So I think that people are no longer patient with going through the learning process to become what they truly want to become. Somebody like me, it's hard for you to knock me off my perch because there's nothing about this thing that I do not know right now. I have learned the nitty gritty of how this thing works. So I think the lack of patience is also something that is not helping us grow. And I think that also we're not ready to invest in these talents that we have. Basically, we're not ready, which is also a problem. And we have a problem of collaboration. Everybody wants to do their own thing. Everybody wants to blow on their own. I collaborate with a guy who owns a studio, who is a dancer, Mr. Shili. I don't know if you know him. He's a dancer. So I don't need to go outside and start training dancers. I have somebody who knows how to dance. So our problem is that we do not also collaborate. Everybody wants to do their own thing. And we cannot grow further with that mindset. It's very easy when we're growing together, but growing alone is pretty hard. So we have a problem with collaboration in this state too.
Let's go back a bit to your own process of being mentored to where you are today. I know there are certain prices that you had to pay, the sacrifices you had to make. Can you share with us? But sometimes it could be that the young people or the younger generation, they cannot really connect with, okay, these are the investments that I have to make, or this is the pathway I have to follow. And they don't have that clearly before them. So even before they jump in, they just have this hazy imagination about what they want to do really. It doesn't have depth. So can you do a flashback at some of the things that you had to do while you were being mentored?
Yeah, I paid for online classes. I had to learn online from people who were way ahead of me. And like I said, I was in a theater group before, Global Theater Initiative. And I was an actor in the group for over 7 years. So back then we'll go to rehearsals, let's say 5 minutes late, and you're being told to kneel down for something that is not, back then we're not even doing it for the money. We're doing it because we enjoyed it. And you were being told to kneel down for 10, 15 minutes. And you will not complain. We had to trek from Mukba to Uwanse for rehearsals every day and back home, and we had to do that consistently. We're not being paid. Nobody paid us a dime, but we enjoyed it, so that process of us doing these things, this is something that we did for free. So imagine when I want to start earning from it, imagine how differently I would do it. And, we live in our society now. I think, the people we have here are a bit emotional. You tell people the truth and they say you're hurting their feelings, their mental health and all that. And it annoys me. You can't tell somebody that, look, this thing you're doing is wrong. They'll say, oh, your tone was a bit harsh. You see people coming online to say, he should have said it this way, he should have said it that way. And I'm like, God, we can't grow like this. We're creating softies in a society that will not feel sorry for them. So people do not really also want to take corrections. I went through that time where even when I did my best, my director still shouted at me, still screamed at me. And I'm like, I did all I'm supposed to do. Maybe there's something he saw that I wasn't supposed to do. And I took that. There was never a time where I stood up to him and say, no, sir, I don't like the way you talk to me. No, because I wanted to learn. And everything he was doing it from a place of love and a place that he was teaching me. So I think that I went through those processes and it really shaped me. It really made me realize that if you want to learn something, there are certain things that you must absorb. There are some things that you must receive. As long as it's making you, as long as it's coming from a place of love and it's coming from a place of wanting to make you excellent. So I went through all those routes. And the sleepless nights where I learned writing, my writing were rejected countless times. Like before I got the Johnson's gig, The script I sent to them was rejected because they didn't like it. The producer talked down on me, said certain things to me that I thought they said you were writing for a very long time. What kind of this thing is this? But I apologized and I said I would do better. And I still got the gig, and I wasn't going there say, I've been doing this for a while. Who are you to criticize my work? This is somebody who has been in the industry for 30 years. If he's saying something, then I should listen.
Oh, yes.
So I think that what we have right now is people who are not ready to listen. They just feel like they know a lot. And with ChatGPT now, everybody's a creative, is a creative writer. So, and that's a problem because when you're not able to think for yourself, it becomes a problem. Now, if you call somebody now that, I need a script in 2 days, they just go straight to ChatGPT and you can tell. I'm not saying ChatGPT it's bad. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that it steals a lot from your creativity and you don't stress your mind to learn certain things again. So your learning is just half-baked. You can't compare our generation who wrote exams without Google.
My God.
Who wrote exam without ChatGPT.
Oh, yes.
And they will even tell you don't use calculator. To these people who they don't even want to think again. If I ask somebody in the generation now, when did Nigeria gain independence? You see them with their phone. They want to check ChatGPT. These are things you should just know from your head. So most of them are not reading anymore. They don't read. And so that's the problem. For me, I had to read scripts from people. I have to learn over time just to understand how these things are being done. So one of the challenges we have right now is that people are not ready to learn anything. They're just resting on their laurels. Go to their bio on Facebook, on Instagram. You see creative writer, director, filmmaker, blah, blah, So I think that's an epidemic.
So I know you've just talked about one of your wins, right? Johnson's. How did it feel nailing that?
Oh, I actually prophesied that I was going to write for them in 2018.
Oh, really?
And the call came in 2024.
Wow, that's like 6 years.
That's like 6 years later. My cousin, Esther Odu, actually knew the producer of the Johnsons.
Okay.
So I think she had told him about me, and when he was the one who I told you that rejected my stuff the first time. So after they accepted me, I think that was like the most surreal experience for me ever. For somebody they were like, okay, you'll come to the studio tomorrow and do this. I said, sir, I'm in Calabar. Say, you're in Calabar, so how are you going to work? Okay, send another story, let us see. So when I wrote, they were like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. How long have you been watching the Johnsons? I explained everything in the Johnsons, from their room to the color, everything, so they knew that, okay, this guy knows the story. I felt like for me, that still remains like one of my biggest wins, actually, to be in Calabar and do over 50 episodes for the Johnsons. When I start, because for Johnsons, they pay you per episode.
Okay.
For the first month, I just did one episode because they rejected my other stories. They said it wasn't strong enough. But that was the lowest story I did. From there, I took it like, no, you guys are going to see me. From there, I was doing 6 stories, 5 stories a month and all that. So that was a big win for me because that was the first, for somebody staying in Cross River State to Calabar to be doing something that big in Lagos. So that's something I would never forget in my life. I've done other things, but that still remains like the highlight of my career.
At the point where you were not accepted, where your works were rejected, what kept you pushing through? I can imagine that you would sit down nights, days, hours, minutes, seconds, you put something together, and to you, in a way you just tell yourself, okay, I think this can rock, this can fly. And then you get the feedback. No, it's a no. How were you able to handle those transition moments?
I even got a no yesterday.
Oh my God.
I think for me, like I said, my background plays a huge role in the kind of person that I am. Like I said, in the barracks, you need to learn to stay tough. You come back home, you're third in class, and your dad will say, the person will carry first, no get sense. Like in the get to head. We were never trained to settle for less, basically. So those failures were like, okay, for me, failures are like, I'll get it the next time. I'll get it the next time. As much as those things hurt, I was telling my people yesterday, during our rehearsals, that you learn nothing from winning. If you win all the time, you learn nothing. You just feel like it's a normal thing for you. But when you fail once, you realize that, okay, what did I not do right? How am I supposed to do this? So I've seen a lot more failure than I've seen wins. So I don't think that there's anybody that has I have failed. Like I said, I also failed yesterday. So I have seen those things, but those things do not move me. It just showed me that, okay, this is how you should do it. This is how you should do it. And they inspire me to want to prove people wrong. That, look, I'm going to do this thing. In fact, one of the reasons I'm still pushing is that I don't think I have attained where I want to be. I don't think I have. And for the vision I have for myself and for my company as well, I don't think we've reached half. So it's a personal decision that I've taken to myself that until this thing is achieved, I will keep doing it. I don't care whether we make money out of it or whether we fail from it, we'll keep doing it. So that notion, that drive, and what I heard God tell me, that this is going to be a company that will cross across nations and you're going to go on tours and all that. We haven't gone on tours. So why would I fail and relax? I just feel like we haven't started yet. So that's always my drive. I heard it from God and it's going to come.
Interesting. The God factor.
Oh, we can never take that away.
Well, let's get into some serious stuff now.
Okay.
Let's get into the work that you do, differentiating between stage plays and film production and all of that, and how you're able to wear the cap everywhere. Okay. So let's first of all hear from you. How do we differentiate stage play with a film production? Just explain to us in literary terms how the layperson out there can understand.
Okay, in simple terms, stage is harder than film.
Oh, really?
Yes. Stage is on the spot stuff. You don't have the time to say, cut, let's do it again. For films, you can have 20 takes for a particular, like this stuff we're doing now. They can decide to like, okay, let's cut this part. Let's cut this part. We don't like it, But for stage, there's nothing like that. Your audience you get to see your audience reaction live, almost instantaneous. Imagine you're acting on stage and everybody's pressing their phones and nobody's looking at what you're doing. It has a way of making you feel demoralized. Like you're not doing anything.
Yes.
I prefer
and you
stage.
can forget your lines.
Oh, we have 1,000 times. We have forgotten. Even as an actor, I've forgotten my lines on stage, not once, not twice. It's not, for film, you can improvise and still get away with it. For stage, there's a way you improvise, and the person you're acting with might not be that sound to understand that you're improvising. And they're waiting for you to drop a particular line so they continue with theirs. And you haven't said it, so they just stay there looking at you. So stage is 100 times harder than film. Even though film is more time consuming, film is more like there's more funds into making movies, but stage is far more harder. For me, people ask why we love stage so much. It's because we like this natural audience feedback. We like this. We like to see how our audience feel when we're doing certain things. That you're not. The great Denzel Washington says something, you're not a great actor until you've acted on stage. That's when because when you sit in your home and you're watching your film and people are saying, oh, such a great actor, most times people are just doing that of, okay, this guy is fine. I just like the fact that he's fine. But go on stage and act and let us see you. So that's basically just the difference. Stage is live. Film goes to production, post-production. You can be doing film and, okay, I don't like the way this scene was shot. You call the person back after 1 week and say, let's reshoot this. You don't have that luxury for stage. So basically that's just the difference.
from what you do, it seems like you tilt towards stage plays much more.
Yes, and this is why. I feel like stage plays are dying out. They are going extinct. I grew up in Calabar where we used to go for Sunday show at Cultural Center.
Yes.
We used to watch stage plays every Sunday. It was a beautiful experience, And then I was in theater arts in my year 1, and then I moved to linguistics in year 2, And then, like I said, I joined a theater group. There's this emotion that comes with stage plays. You are acting and somebody is watching you and they are crying. And you're like, this is me doing that to that person. You watch, like what we do, we act and people say, oh, this touched me. I've repented from this thing that I was doing. I'm now a better person. I want to be part of the things that you guys do. So to see that instant reaction, it gives us goosebumps, and you're dancing and people are screaming, people are wailing, 2,000 persons at the same time, screaming for the things that you're doing. So it gives us this joy that we want to implant into people's lives. We don't just want people to focus on their screen too much. We want to take people out of their houses, do something different, leave your phone for a while and just watch something beautiful. We've become so glued to our phones. We've become, our phones is like an idol right now. Somebody wakes up, the first thing that they're doing is picking up their phones.
Their phone.
They don't even check if they can still talk. Just carry their phones, it's become an idol. So for us, stages, leave your house, leave the comfort of your environment, come sit with strangers, enjoy the moment, and we've done that 8 times and we've seen the feedback so far and it's been amazing. Like I said, our dream is to do this in every city, make people know that stage production, it's a beautiful thing. And for us, we've been able to not just inspire people to be creative. We've taken a lot of people out of the streets. And by this, I mean, we have confused teenagers in my hub. We have confused people. We have people who don't know their left to right, And then with this, we try to put in stage will turn you into a better person. It will harness your good because somebody who came, I watched this guy on stage. So you tend to live your life in a certain kind of way with the kind of stage plays that we do. So for us, it's not just bringing joy into people's lives. It's making sure that even we ourselves bring joy into our own lives, and we can only get that from stage.
Let me take a line from what you said. The kind of stage plays that we do. So, what kind of stage plays do you do?
Oh, we do life-changing stage plays. We don't do stage plays with vulgar words, obscene words. We don't do that. We do plays that changes people's lives. We do mostly gospel plays, and why we do that is this: not all of us are going to be pastors or preachers or stand on the pulpit and preach. Now, imagine I put you on the stage play and you act so well that somebody decides to give their life to Christ. Do you know that if you're walking on the road, you will comport yourself? There are certain things you will not want to do because you feel like somebody's life changed through you. So that's what we do so that people who are with us try to live properly. Like, okay, because I do this, I can't do that. People do adaptation of books and all that. But for us, we create original stories. We pride ourselves that we don't copy what people do. We like to be original with our stories. So our kind of stories must either solve a problem or start a problem. So anyway, it must do something. And we have seen that for every time that we do those plays, people come to us and say, my life changed while I'm watching this. When we did sometime in October, in November actually, it was not your usual gospel stage play. We talked about certain ills and abnormalities. People came and met us and like, this was the best thing that they have watched. And people were like, I don't know. I never knew that people still do stage plays like this. When people think of stage plays, they think is, Mama, the akara on the fire they think is this, old school thing that we used to watch. But for us, we've been able to revitalize it, modernize it, and make it more engaging. So our stage plays must either change your life or destroy your life. And destroy in the sense that we destroy the notion that you used to carry about certain things. We destroy those notions and we change it for the better.
Destroy the negative part that is not adding value
to you, and change it for the better.
So I'm going to ask you this question. It's quite on the spot, but you are the director, so you should be able to answer. Can you do a ride through the plays from the beginning?
Okay. Our first play was The Masquerade. Then we did The Masquerade Return. We did I Am Judas. Then Love is a Miracle. We did November 1992. We did Boundless Love, and sometime in October.
Oh my goodness, you got it. Interesting.
So by April, we'll be doing our first open garden theater and picnic, where the audience will be part of the play, basically. Our audience used to watch us. Now we want them to act with us while we're doing the play. And it's going to be on the 19th of April. I don't know if I can advertise my play here.
Sure, you can. We'll do that before the end of the show.
But our main stage play is coming by July, and it's called Prayer by Midnight.
My goodness.
Yeah. So for the first time, we're going to be doing a horror stage play.
Horror?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
I see a trend of innovation in what you do.
Yeah, because if we keep doing the same thing, it will be tiring. I tell people that you can't predict what we do. The only thing you can predict is that we'll do it well. If you come to my play or to our play and then you know what is going to happen in the next scene, I think we have failed. So we like to keep our audience on their toes. We've done several kind of play. We've done musicals and all that. So we need to always look for a way to improve what we do. If not, apart from the audience being tired, even we ourselves will be tired because we always want to challenge ourselves to do things differently. So that's why we're stepping into, I don't know why I said that thing. It was supposed to come as a gang factor, but now I've said it already.
It's okay. It's still gang. Now, I know that in this journey, there must have been a time where you felt maybe broken or you had the worst kind of experience while producing. And it was really, really discouraging. Would you be bold enough to share that?
Yeah, my plays are self-funded, basically. I get to fund it myself from scratch to finish. I have collected contribution of over 1 million and dumped it all in the play. And at the end of the day, you're going home with like 200,000 from a 1 million naira investment or even more. I've had a play where I've rehearsed with a particular person to like 3 weeks for the play and the person pulled out. And somebody else just had to play that role again. For our first play? Yes, for our first play, while we're staging, Jen went off, but here's the beautiful thing. Not one person left the hall. They were like, we want to see what will happen. We practically had to look for another Jen that there was no feel. And one of my members had to hold it up like this till we finished, because if they leave it, the Jen might go off. So we held it so we've seen those kind of challenges play out not once or twice. I've had people who you have trained who insult you right in the face, telling you that you have done nothing for them. I've seen those things play over time. And sometimes I just feel like maybe my role in people's life is to push them and show them the direction they are supposed to go. And so I tend not to get hurt for those disappointments anymore, and the more people grow under you and maybe, like I said in the beginning, and they think that, oh, now I know so much, they tend to become very disrespectful. The people I started with are not the people I am with right now. A lot of persons have left. This is not to say I'm a perfect leader or a perfect director. I don't have my own flaws. But one thing I've not done, I think it's been disrespectful to even the persons that are under me. But I have seen disrespect. I've seen people disrespect me, call me names. But it's all part of the creative journey. And we're still here.
Now, we've talked about the worst and the discouraging moments. So let's go to the high points. mention 1, 2, 3 high points, high moments in this journey that you'd like to share with us?
Okay, I think the first one would be Johnson's gig. That still remains one of my high points. It's a beautiful thing that happened to me. And then the second one was my first stage play ever. For a first stage play, and you're having over 700 persons attend it for the first time, it was really beautiful. And to see people still sit down, even when the light went off, and they were still enjoying the play, that showed me that, guy, you're doing the right thing. And I think another high point would be when I got the call to be a coach for the DIASPORA Talent Hunt. And then the talents that I coached actually won the show, the prize 30 million naira. That was my first time as a coach on the show.
Oh yes, that was 2025. I remember.
Yeah, that was my first time, and I came out as a winning coach. So it made me realize that Omo, you know what you're
There's
doing.
Something you're doing right.
So I think there's a lot, but I think those three really stands out for me.
Great. So we've talked about stage plays, and I could see the passion in
I could
it.
talk about it from morning till night.
From morning till night. So now you've talked about the impact in the lives of people, the audience. Can it also create an impact in the economy? If so, how?
Okay, here's what I think. Okay, for stage, right?
Yes.
Okay, but there's something about stage. If you'd say, okay, let people buy tickets to 2,000 naira and come watch the play, and you might still not make any money from it because you get to pay for sound, for lights, for. Now imagine if let's say a company comes in and says, okay, look, I want to invest in this thing that you're doing. You might not necessarily make money from ticket sales, but imagine 2,000 persons who get to see your business on the spot, who you get to advertise your business to. Like, let's say you want to do bank registration or you want to sell the product, and there are 2,000 persons on the spot that you can sell those products to. So it makes it easier than the online people that you see. I keep saying that one of the greatest form of business or recommendation is still word of mouth. Like, look, Gloria sells the best herbs in town. It's faster than you going online to say I sell the best. If I'm telling this guy that you sell the best herbs in town, he's taking it from me because he trusts me. So it's easier for him to buy from you than for him to buy from online when I've already recommended something to him. So I feel like it could be a means of creating wealth if people are more vested in, okay, let me take you guys on tour. Going on tour in different cities, and you're paying for. It's in Calabar that you see tickets for 2,000 naira now. I have my Abuja counterparts who do the same stage plays, and they charge as much as 20,000 naira for regular, even in Lagos. Because people understand the thrill that comes from watching these things. So if we get somebody who say, oh, okay, let me sponsor your sound, let me sponsor your light, let me sponsor your hall, we could actually make good money from ticket sales. Because then the load on us has reduced drastically. But people are not ready to do that because, they come, they say, are you going to have table for 6? Is that going to be wine? It's not a comedy show. It's a stage play, So we haven't seen that yet. But I believe that if maybe even the government take this thing personally and be like, okay, we want to revive stage plays in Calabar, you see the kind of turnaround we'll get. Because we have comedy shows which are beautiful. We have gospel shows which are nice. Let's also diversify and do something different. Because there are people who actually love these things, but we have not created that avenue for them to enjoy it. So I feel like that's somewhere we should look into.
And even as an avenue to enlighten or create awareness.
Exactly. Because, if you're watching a film and somebody's talking to you about drugs, it's easier for you to just fast forward the film and, you want to watch something else. But if you're watching this on the spot and you're seeing the repercussion on somebody else, life in the moment, it has a way of of changing certain narratives about you. It has a way of stopping you from doing certain things, and I feel like stage play is a tool to eradicate certain vices.
Absolutely.
Certain vices, if done properly. It's a tool to eradicate certain vices. And also, most of the things that we spend time trying to talk to youth about, don't smoke this, don't do that, don't do this. Imagine where you have a company who accepts these people and channel that energy into something more productive. It has a way of changing their lives on the spot. So I feel like back then we used to go to schools to do, to act for them, act for students, show them, things that if they do, in the long run, it will cause harm to them. And I feel like those who really need it more right now are the secondary school students, because the kind of things going on in secondary schools, my God. So imagine there's somebody who is willing to sponsor this thing. Go do a 20 minutes play on cultism for these people. Do a 20 minutes play on the impact of cybercrime. I may not even give it a good name, Yahoo, on these people. And let them see firsthand the repercussion. It's maybe not everybody will change, but a few of them will actually change, because these people don't sit down to watch TV anymore. They don't even watch the film to change their lives anymore. It's either they're on TikTok, it's either they're on Facebook, so they don't really have that life-changing moment again. So with stage plays, I think that this could be a tool to eradicate certain vices.
I agree with you totally. Now, you founded the Lighthouse Hub Productions, and you've achieved quite a lot in helping to develop creative talent. Can you tell us the journey so far?
Oh, it's been beautiful. We founded the Lighthouse Hub in 2023. It was first PD Hub, Patrick Dominic Hub,
Yes.
And then at the long run, my wife and I, we sat down one day, like, this is not about me. This is not, I don't want people to see, Patrick Dominic Hub. So
Yes.
it's greater than what we're looking at. So we started looking for names, and then we came out with the Lighthouse Hub. The journey has been amazing, has been financially consuming, but I will not have it any other way. The kind of persons we have raised, the kind of people that I have seen become better, has given me so much joy. People who you used to see do certain terrible things now becoming better. For most persons, they would say, oh, okay, the monetary value is not there yet. I know. But to see that somebody's life has become better because of the things that you do, it's a joy on its own. The journey has been filled with so much obstacles, filled with a lot of ups and downs. Like I said, even your strong hands leaving. I had my stand director relocate to Uyo because of greener pastures, and you can't stop them. And people who are not, they're not making money instantly, and then opportunities come and they need to leave. You have to deal with teenagers. You have to deal with people who think they are better than you, even in your own company. So managing all those egos has not been easy, but like I said, I will not have it any other way.
Interesting. And so you bring these young people together and you train them, and sometimes you have to release them. Sometimes you have to keep them.
A lot. Sometimes you don't even release them happily. Some of them go some of them leave angrily. You talk to somebody and you're not supposed to. Why are you to talk to me like that? Some of them just start beefing you quietly and then they leave. Even in your own company, that people are gossiping about you and saying things about you. I've had somebody who once said that I'm a basic writer. He doesn't think I'm good at what I do. In my own company, he's still there in my own company. So I see those things most times, but I've always said that the reason people say things behind me is because I'm bigger than them. They can't say it before me, so let them remember where they are. So people come and go. There are people who have been there with me right from the beginning.
Okay.
So I give kudos to them. The likes of your Jimmy Asako. You know Jimmy, right?
Sure.
That guy has been with me from day one.
Wow.
So there are people who have been with me, and I appreciate them a lot. But I always understand that in life, people will come and go.
Yes.
You know, even Jesus had 12 disciples. Who am I to keep all these plenty people? So they would leave.
Okay, so now the question is, how has that impacted your own life? How has it made you to be a different person? Because the truth is that people who learn patience in the process of working with people or trying to pour themselves or trying to mentor the younger generation. So is there any difference that has created in your own life?
Well, frankly, I think that's a very beautiful question, because I think I've learned to be more patient with people, you know, and also there are people who come to the hub 6 months, 7 months, they are not learning anything.
Okay.
They are hard to teach. You know, they can't act. For us, we don't only accept people who can act. We accept anything. By anything, I mean anything. We have someone in my hub right now who his head is not even in the right place. But we just feel like we have this strength to turn things around. You know, so for being patient with somebody for like 6-7 months and they are not growing intellectually or artistically, but they're
not adding value to the work.
They're not, but they're always coming. They come very early. You know, they are always there. You turn and you're looking for who to use, and you see them and you know you can't use them, but they are always there. But we've learned to, I've learned that in the course of this, the fact that they keep showing up means that they want to learn actually. So I've learned to be patient with them, even in my own life as a human being. I've learned that I am not also perfect, and people are also patient with me in some level. So I've learned that, and I've also learned about people coming and going, you know, that you cannot hold people down forever, no matter how much you are good to them, you know, and the fact that you're good to people is not a criteria for them to stay. People will always want different things. You know, people always want to do their own thing at the end of the day, you know. So I think in my life, it has taught me to be a bit more patient with things, a bit more patient with people, you know, because you can't force things on people. You can't force greatness. It has to come on people gradually.
That's very strong. You can't force greatness.
No.
Interesting. Quite a journey you've had. So I see that you're also embracing fame, digital storytelling. You're bringing that flavor into your work. How is that coming on?
I make bold to say I just recently directed the first Calabar film that will be shown at the cinema.
Wow.
Made in Calabar, acted by Calabar artist, by my I think that's one person, his name is Apostle, who has decided that collaboration is key. You know, he knows I direct films, he knows I direct stage, and he came to me and like, see, let's do something together. And that guy soaked his finances. He almost sold his car while we're producing this film.
My goodness.
Yes, he almost did, you know, if not for some last minute intervention. And so the movie Safe it's noise is almost everywhere, you know, and that's like my first big directorial debut for a film. I directed short movies, you know, but this is like the first and one of the biggest ever. You know, I've always wanted to tell my own stories. I've always wanted to tell my own stories from my own eyes and the way I see things. There are stories I have in my head that I feel like if producers get a hold of these stories and let me direct them, I feel like we'll make so much money. I don't want to tell any kind of stories. Prior to this, I've rejected stories to direct, and I don't just direct some kind of stories because this is not for me. If you bring a story that has too much vulgarity, it's not for me. I don't think I can do it. No, I don't think I want to do it, you know, because whether we like it or not, I'm still a church boy, you know, and you will not take that away from me. So there are certain stories that I have in my head, and I don't feel like a story needs to have all those vulgarity for it to sell.
So in other words, let me interrupt you there. If the story or whatever they're bringing on the plate has some level of disconnect with your value system,
I will not do it.
Really?
I will not do it.
Wow.
Now, in the movie Safe, we have some intense moments like that in the film. We had some kisses here and there, but those were actually necessary for the film. You know, some movies, those scenes are not necessary. They just do it just to keep you hooked and glued to it, basically. So I'm saying that, you know, if a man comes back from work and kisses his wife, that's a value that I appreciate. That's something that should be seen. You know, not when it's not necessary and you're just doing it for the sake of, let's do it. People will like it. Yes. Then in the trailer, you just be showing those scenes, so that somebody wants to watch it. So I'm saying that if certain things do not align with my value and belief system, I would not do it. And as somebody said, and people like when I go stay before I make money on. Mm-hmm. Yes, because you can't make money with holding on to your values. And I'm saying that if I have seen people do it and made it through it, then I would definitely make it at some point. It might take some time, but it will definitely happen. You know, some people give birth to puppies, while some give birth to elephants. You know. You know, so
what an analogy it is.
So you can't compare 10 puppies to one elephant.
My goodness.
So it might take time, but it will definitely happen.
That's very powerful. Okay, so the movie Safe. Tell us the inspiration.
Oh, okay. I'm not the writer of the story.
Okay.
Her name is Jessica Ufono. I'm just the director of the story. I think Safe is a controversial story about betrayal, about friendship, about trust, you know. And it's a story that aims to show that we have so much talent in the state. It was shot by Calabar. It was filmed, it was edited, it was colored. Everything happened here in Calabar. So it's a movie that spans about betrayal, love, and loyalty. If I tell you everything now, you're not going to buy tickets.
No way. Surely we'll be there. Interesting.
So it's on the 1st of April.
Okay.
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. Yeah. Okay. But we'll not be fooled.
No. I want you to know that you have value for your money.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
We're still talking about your venturing into, adopting film, digital storytelling, and how the journey has been so far. So what are the lapses that you see, or what are there controversies? Are there tough moments for you while navigating on that path?
It's not been easy, basically. Why I would say that is, okay, for me right now in the Lighthouse Hub, we just have one videographer, one guy who can shoot. And so we have to wait for him till whenever he's ready and available before we can shoot. And he's not always available, you know. And then you have people who have their personal businesses that they do. And so by the time you're calling this one, okay, we have to shoot the film, they are not available. You go to, you finish shooting the film, fortunately for you. And even the same persons who are in the film do not even promote the film. You know, because maybe they don't believe in it as much as you do, or maybe because it's not their business per se. You know, so we have a promotion culture problem in these states. We have I was telling my friend that day that I see so many people shooting films in Calabar. Like, where are they putting these films? I'm not seeing them, you know. So they say, oh, people are not promoting the films. You know, people just shoot these films and just dump it on YouTube and that's it. We don't do so much in producing and promoting our films. We just feel like people should naturally go and watch it because of us. And you see the likes of the Funke Akindeles who have achieved so much more, still dancing on the streets to promote their own film. So who are you? You know, so I think that I faced that problem with promotion. I faced it with funds. You know, making good movies requires a lot of money. Not necessarily a lot of money, but it requires money, you know. So that has been quite challenging for us, and it's still something we're still trying to navigate that process.
Okay, so now let's get more into the state. You're talking about Cross River State and how it has been doing business here for local creatives. Perhaps I think that they need to have a mindset shift. Some of the things that you shared, but are there other things that you have observed amongst the local creatives here within the ecosystem?
Well, personally, I would say Crossover has been good to me. In 2004, I won Best Content Creator and Filmmaker. In 2025, I still won the award again. And so that means they see what I'm doing. But I feel like the film industry in Cross River State is not really there yet. Let me not use there yet. Let me not sound mild. I don't think it's there. I don't think that we are ready.
When you say not there yet or not there, what do you mean?
We don't have films. We're not telling our stories. We are letting people from outside come and tell our stories from here. You watch certain films where they speak a fake, and you see people from outside speaking your own language and spoiling the language because they have to learn it to come and act it because they don't trust you enough to play those roles. As much as there's nothing wrong for actors from Lagos or other places to play those roles, why are they always giving we who owns the story the minority roles to play? Why do we have to play the houseboys or the house girls? Why do we have to play the servants to the king? I'm saying that we're not telling our own stories. And if we don't tell our own stories, somebody else will tell it for us in a way that we might not like it. If you see the Yorubas, why do you think Netflix is investing so much in Yoruba movies? Because they tell original and authentic stories. And they speak their language by themselves. They don't have to call somebody else to come and learn their language to speak for them. So we're not telling our own stories. And I was telling somebody that day, look, there's this man called Ifeoma Taoto. I heard that story when I was growing up as a child. That man is still alive. Is there nobody who is going to take record of everything that man has done and tell such a beautiful story? You want to tell the stories of Anansa. We have beautiful stories that we are not telling. And so we are not growing our own stars. People have to leave the shores of Cross River State to become stars outside. So we're not growing our own stars. We don't have people who walk on the road and they say, oh, see that Nollywood actor. We don't have those kind of persons anymore, except for the likes of them, Shan George, who did also not make it from Cross River State. They went outside, did it. And that's why you can say they are popular. So we don't have that in the state. And I don't think that we have really sat down to invest into filmmaking in Cross River State. Like we say, okay, we want to tell this very beautiful traditional story. We need good writers. We need people who will tell these stories. I don't think we're there yet. We're still comfortable with just doing it anyhow, And for the Netflix and the Prime Video, I think that they want to buy into indigenous stories. They want to see stories that has not been told before. The difference between Thor and Shango is packaging. Shango is actually the god of thunder. Do you understand? There's a difference. It's called thunder and Thor. So these are our gods that are being repackaged to tell these foreign stories. And if you watch the movie The Human King, if you read the book, it's different from what is in the film. But as long as you're not the one telling the story, somebody else will carry that story and repackage it and sell it the way they want to do it. So we are not telling our stories, and that's a problem. So we need to dig deep, and it's not just music and comedy. We need to dig deep into the film industry. I don't think that that's something we have done yet. We need to start telling our own struggles. So until we have done that, I don't think that there's going to be any hope for us. Somebody like Sasa Lokome should be an international actor. Should be making. That guy is good. He's good. He's so good. I watched him in Migration, the film that Shan George did. He was absolutely flawless. We should not be seeing Lokome once in a while. We should see him often. I knew that guy like 20 years ago when he was doing film. And I think that we should be better than where we are right now. We should start creating our own celebrities. that are not just musicians or comedians, but are also actors that can be internationally acclaimed. What's wrong in bringing those guys to come and be supporting actors to the likes of them Lokome? You know, what's wrong with doing a movie that is directed by Patrick Dominic and you see Chidi Mokeme in the movie, or you see Iniedo in the movie? Those things help to catapult us from here to there. No, but I don't think we're ready for that conversation yet.
And I think you shouldn't sound negative anyways.
I'm not. I hope we get there someday. Okay. I've gotten promises, like there are people who see me every time they see me. There's this film I want to do, Patrick. We need to do something together. I've heard that thing like 100 times, you know. And I keep saying this thing. I don't, my biggest jobs have come from outside the state. My biggest jobs have come from outside the state. Like we did an advert for a streaming platform. It came outside the state. So it's like, it's people from outside who are seeing the work that we do here. And sometimes it's really painful when somebody from your own state and you give them a bill and they say, me, pay you that kind of money. Who are you? What have you done? You know, so when those in your states don't think that you are valuable, you sell your market to those who feel like doing, who would pay you for your worth. So that's the problem. We're not also ready to pay people for what they are worth. We just think that, we know it's not Patrick. He will come and do it for us. And I will not do it for you.
Gone are the days, right?
No, I would rather starve. I won't do it. I won't. So that's the problem we have.
All right. Well, it has been quite an insightful session here with you. And we always want to hear what our guests would have to say to the younger generation, people who are aspiring to be like you. They want to be script writers. They want to be creative directors. They want to be filmmakers. What final words do you have for them?
It's a very lonely journey, basically. It requires it requires persistence, consistency, not just consistency, consciously be consistent, because you can be consistently doing the wrong thing. So it requires consistency, it requires patience, focus, and also learn to collaborate with people who want to see you grow.
Learn to collaborate with people
who want to see you grow. Right.
So in other words, you have to wear your glasses or your lenses.
Very well. Very well.
Well, thank you so much, Patrick Dominic.
Thank you for having me.
For coming on the show, and thank you for sharing your experiences with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And to you out there, you have heard that we need to invest more in the creative industry. We have talents yet untapped. And like you would agree with me, the future is what we're all hoping for, a better future indeed. But you know what is going to happen? It is not going to happen the way we want it until we build it, and we build it together. So together, let's help develop an ecosystem for creative talents to thrive here in Cross River State. Well, that is how we are signing off today. My name is Gloria Edet. Until we come your way again, ensure that you share this story to all to hear. Thank you very much for being with us this far.